2 weekends ago, I lost a front wheel bearing actually on the last lap, a couple of yards before the finish line. Yeah, and it just blew up, took the whole like hub out and everything like that.
Oh man!
It probably goes up 10.
Ah, squirrel! Did it live? It lived.
Oh, look at us.
Carbon ceramic brake test. Here's a fun question. I like asking people who have been successful. How much do you attribute success that you've seen or experienced yourself to luck, and how much to hard work? Is that a Suzuki Jimny? That was an old Jimny! Oh my god, I love Jimnys! Hello everybody, this is Matt Haitley. Hello YouTube.
Hello YouTube.
Today we're going for a drive in the Maserati MC20, and we're just going to talk about things, many things. Tentative name, Cars and Careers. Can't claim credit for that. That is your illustrious genius wife.
Yeah, she's good at that sort of thing.
Yeah. She just immediately just threw it out and goes, Cars and Careers. Yep. That's actually really cool because we're going to talk about things like that. We're currently out in Ojai, about to head up 33, which is a phenomenal curvy canyon road.
Legendary.
Yes. And we have an MC20 Cielo, which means sky in Italian. So how would you pronounce it? Cielo.
Cielo.
Not Cielo. All the Americans probably saying Cielo.
Yeah.
But it will likely get a little chilly as we get up there, so we're going to put the top back up, which can do up to 31 miles an hour, and it takes 12 seconds. Just like this.
How cool is that?
Yeah. But you have to do it all through the animation is nice, but it's all through the touchscreen, right? I have to hold this touchscreen. There's no physical toggle. There's no physical button or anything. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Rooftop closed.
That's properly quick.
Remember when I told you about this car being borderline scary?
That is properly quick.
It is a bit of a handful sometimes, a lot of the time.
Has a completely different kind of power delivery than a lot of cars.
I was telling a lot of people, like, you know how sometimes the OEMs try to hide that their car has turbochargers? They say, like, oh, it's still got a naturally aspirated feel, very linear torque curve. Maserati is like, nah, this thing is boosted. Feel the boost.
You feel it, you hear it.
Yes. Yeah. It's actually now kind of warm now. I will put down the little back window. There we go.
Oh, look at that.
Get some airflow. Also, check this out. If I exit this, go to vehicle, so you see the sky? Look up, ready?
Uh-huh. No
It's
way.
got the electrochromatic change. It'll go from opaque to
that's
like
so
clear.
cool.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. There's a little Cielo toggle here, but again, through the touchscreen, no physical button for any of that.
You get a lot for your money.
A lot of money, though. A lot of money. This is optioned at $340,000, which is a nice home in most parts of the country. Mm-hmm. Just not Southern California.
Yeah.
Not here, no. That would be, you barely get an outhouse here. I looked at property values. I was like, oh, it's really nice. Oh, never mind. Anyways, so, Mr. Haitley, we've been friends for 4 years now? Over 4 years.
Yep.
Yeah. And you've had yourself an illustrious, very interesting, varied career. So on the topic of cars and careers, tell us about that. What have you done? What did you do in your career so far?
I've had a very bizarre career. Well, let's see. I started at Corel Corporation in quality assurance. If anybody remembers what that is, the makers of Corel Draw and WordPerfect.
Yeah, the Microsoft Draw company.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I started there, and then I was a web developer for a little bit, and then I started in a tech company called Macadamia, and I was part owner of, it was like a software consulting and UI consulting company, and I was there for probably 15 years and ran everything that wasn't technical.
Okay.
So, marketing, HR, product management, QA, IT. That was back when you used to have to build your own servers, like when you had to build your own firewalls. Yeah. So I had to learn how to do all of that and everything. So And then went and built the business in Boston, and then went and built the business in the Bay Area, and that's what brought me out here to California. And then I took a break for that for a little bit. That was a lot of travel. And then I was asked to run sales and marketing for Magnuson Superchargers after that.
Macadamia, what was the exit out of that?
What was the what?
Did you exited out of that, right? Like,
yeah, I sold my shares back to my other partners.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Magnuson Superchargers into the car world. Was it the first?
And I wanted it. That was appealing because I've always loved cars, and to me, Magnuson was one of those companies, kind of like Holley or Edelbrock or something that I used to read about in Hot Rod magazine when I was 16 years old. So to work for a fairly iconic brand out here on the West Coast, and do a bit of sort of a bit of a sales and marketing turnaround. And I did that for 2 or 3 years, traveled all over the country, met people like Chip Foose, spent like a day chatting with Chip Foose and going out for lunch and everything. So that was, met all the Lingenfelter guys, and that was a lot of fun, hanging out with, Willow Springs with Hot Rod magazine, filming, a supercharged 1LE versus the Z28 versus
Z28.
A Z.
Your Canadian is showing a little bit. The Z28.
I don't know what you're talking about, eh? Yeah, that was
going all the SEMAs and the Hot Rod Power Tours and everything.
Yes, I mean similar to what you did, right? You just immerse yourself.
You just live the automotive aftermarket for a long, long time. And then Magnuson, post-Magnuson?
Yeah, and then post-Magnuson, I actually went to work for a food company for a couple of years, helping them launch a new organic brand. And so that, again, complete left turn.
Completely unrelated.
Completely unrelated. Food's another one, and cooking's another one of my passions.
Oh, yeah.
So, those business trips were, going to Poland, Corsica, Dijon, France, Burgundy, sourcing organic products and getting to, know all of these producers and great people. There's really fantastic people in the food business, which was really fun. And then just learning just a completely different kind of, so I went from sort of selling like 6 and 7 figure consulting projects to selling and marketing in the channel in the automotive business, which is just a completely different way of thinking, and going from direct sales to figuring out how to support a channel and support dealers and everything, to then going to a multi-level food distribution in the US is really, really complicated. Okay. It turns out, and just learning all of the logistics of how you get product from all over the world into and all the FDA licensing and all of that stuff. So that was really fun, just to learn a completely different industry and learn what it's like to do business with and negotiate in all of these different countries.
Did you find any skills translated between the different roles and industries?
That's a great question. So, yes, in the terms of like, if there's a trick, right? It's understanding the customer's journey to how do they get to buy that product, right? And if you can really look at that from sort of beginner's eyes, and really think about, why is somebody buying that product? What do they like about it? Which store do they go to, or where do they go to? Who's advising them, and how do they find out about it? And if you can break it down to those sort of elemental parts, you can kind of figure out just about any industry. And all businesses, they kind of, the issues that you deal with are all similar. The people, the finance, and, making sure you're making money and the margins work and all of that kind of stuff, and making sure you're building something or selling something that people actually want to buy.
That's an important one.
So I think that's probably one of my skills, is just being able to land into a business and figure those things out pretty quickly, which is what led me to what I'm doing today, which is, executive coaching.
Yes.
I can parachute myself into a company and asking the right questions and talking to the executive team and looking at the P&L, looking at the balance sheet and everything, and looking at the products and talking to customers. I can kind of figure out pretty quickly how a business is run and how it makes money. And and so on.
So that's definitely a skill that you cultivate and developed over your career.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I've,
reading and learning and mentors and other people like that, right?
I can't even tell you how many business books I've read.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's stacks and shelves of, you know, I've always been a self-learner and really interested in business and interested in finance and marketing and HR and people, and so that's, yeah, it's just something that I learned myself. I sort of gave myself an MBA, I guess.
I'm still working my way through the stack of books you have recommended me.
I have many more.
Yes, I saw in the office. Yeah. Start with Why. That's what I'm finishing up right now.
That's a good one.
Yes, that is a very good one.
That's a really good one about understanding people's motivations.
Correct.
And,
yeah, and I always love when they give like fantastic real world examples. Like Southwest and Apple always come up, especially in this one. Yeah, and it gives context, and you can understand as a customer, consumer, whatever, set the tone there. So executive coaching now, you run your own business.
Yeah, I can work from anywhere.
Oh yeah,
which is really fantastic.
Yeah, tell us where you were for the last month. While I was camping out at your house.
Yeah, we're in Spain, so that was.
Oh, that
really
sounded
nice.
real tough. I'm sure the food was just
the food in Spain is
unattractive.
Incredible.
The scenery.
Oh no, it's terrible, terrible. Mediterranean and eating fresh shrimp and Iberico ham and you know.
Stop! I'm hungry.
Yeah. I wish the audience could see the views here because we don't normally have running water here along. So we're basically driving along a creek or a small river, which
there is a little mini waterfall that comes across the road. There's a lot of them all over the Southern California, all the canyon roads and everything, because of the rain that's been the atmospheric river, which
we freak out when it rains here.
Yeah. Well, when the last couple big storms, it's not like rain. It's been just deluge, just torrential, like insane.
And nothing's set up for it, so it kind of get mudslides and everything shuts down, and
Yeah, like the canyon roads. Like I was over in Malibu Canyons like last week. There's just craters and random giant rocks and like gravel and mud all over. You got to be really careful.
Yep.
So pretty cool career.
Thank you.
If you had to pick your favorite stop along the path, like which one?
Oh man.
Because it's so different.
Yeah, I don't know that because there was something about each one that I just, when I was in tech, the people were amazing. Like the group of people that I worked with at Macadamia, I mean, incredibly sharp, like super, super smart. Some of the smartest people I've ever worked with, literally sort of, these were people that could figure out anything. I mean, at one point we were reverse engineering Windows.
What?
Yeah. We were building a layer that let you run Windows software on Linux, and so we even had to reverse engineer the bugs in Windows. I mean, I would walk up and talk to somebody in the engineering team, and they'd be just looking at hexadecimal and reading it like it was English.
What?
I mean, it's some of the just most fun, smartest people that I've ever, and hardworking people that I've ever worked with. So each one of them had, I loved working in Europe and learning how to do business there, and how Europeans care so much about, are you the right person to partner up with and sell this product, and will you represent the brand well and everything? It almost mattered more than
the product
price
itself
and everything. Yeah. So that's very different from doing business in the U.S. Where it can be all the negotiations are about something completely different. And then horsepower, superchargers.
Yeah.
That was
burning tires.
Yeah, burning tires, and a marketing shoot is doing donuts, and
yes,
and
you're like, this is work.
Yeah, totally. So it'd be hard to pick a single one. They all had their the tunnel.
The next ones are better. Yeah.
Yes.
Because this one goes right into like a 90-degree turn.
Who doesn't like an Italian supercar in a tunnel? It definitely changes character, doesn't it?
Yes.
Very cool.
Drive modes have a pretty substantial difference. I've actually got the dampers currently in mid. You can soften them.
Which I think you'd want here.
Yes.
This is a pretty bumpy road.
Yep.
So you want some grip, especially because there's like wet patches and stuff like that. And you want to keep
Our front tires are still cold too. The backs are okay right now. All right. Temporary pause because tunnel. Not the loudest, but did you feel it was breaking loose?
Yeah. Look at that waterfall.
Yep, there's the waterfall. Yeah, the middle of second gear, I've got traction in sport right now. I have not disabled anything, stability, traction, and it'll just be like, you know what? No traction, sorry.
Yeah, smart.
It is a handful. It's exhilarating though. My heart rate is elevated. Like this thing is
amazing. That's so cool. changes character.
Yeah.
In the low revs, it sounds, I don't know, it's rumbly.
Yes.
Not in a V8 kind of way.
It's very, very unique.
Yeah,
like a low
I
rumbly.
can't even put my finger on what.
I think it has to be because it's a 90-degree V6.
Yeah.
And just how the combustion system and the firing, or I don't know, technical engine noise stuff.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a very, very different character, completely different from the 296, which is also a 3-liter twin-turbo V6, but that's 120 degree, and they call it the Piccolo V12, and it does feel like a baby V12 with turbos. Completely different characteristic.
Yeah, this doesn't sound or feel like a V12 at all. It's something else.
No.
It's something completely different.
It is unique, and the boost noises are so much fun.
Oh, so cool.
Carbon ceramics are nice and strong.
They really are.
So let's talk about cars. What have you owned, Matt?
So my first car was a 1985 Honda Prelude
Oh,
with white letter tires and tinted windows. It was the sportiest thing I could afford at the time when I first started, working at Corel, and I was there for maybe 6 months and it got stolen.
what?
I was heartbroken. I loved that car.
Yeah.
It's just, it was such a, for somebody that was, straight out of school.
Yes.
And, the best thing I could afford for, $3,000, And then I had a series of really unremarkable, I don't know if we had them here, but in Canada we had the Cavalier Z24.
Yes, I think
Very
those came
sporty,
here too.
with the quad fours in them.
Uh-huh.
They were cheap and cheerful, as
Okay.
people like to say.
Yeah.
My dad worked for General Motors, and so I always got the General Motors employee pricing.
Ah, that makes sense then.
So, a little bit of understeer.
Yeah.
I had a few of those, and then after that I got one of my favorite cars, the Subaru.
Oh yes, when they had that collaboration.
Yep, the Saab 92X Aero, which was like a WRX,
Yeah.
but a little nicer inside. Very, very similar. I mean, you could get it serviced at Subaru. And all the
Will they
parts
actually
came-
take it?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, all the parts were Subaru,
Yeah.
essentially. Yeah, sometimes you would take it to a GM dealer and they wouldn't know what to do with
They're
it.
like, we don't recognize this.
So-
Like, you guys own this.
Yeah. I loved that car. That was so much fun. And I was living in Ottawa at the time, so with a set of
Good for all weather. Yeah.
with a set of Blizzaks
Yes.
in the middle, and we would get so much snow, and it would be like rally driving. It was so fantastic. And then we moved to California, and I had, what did I have when I moved here? Oh, I bought a E36 that I slowly turned into a track car
Okay.
until it became almost undrivable.
Okay.
No,
for the
no
street.
interior.
Like,
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And then you need a daily for your daily.
Yep.
Yep.
And I was still driving it as a daily, with
Yeah.
race pads on it, and it was just ridiculous. It was, if somebody borrowed it, they'd be embarrassed because it would be squeaking and rattling, and but it was a super fun car. It was great fun to learn on. And then after that, I had the 1LE.
Okay.
That had a Magnuson supercharger. So when I worked for Magnuson, I wanted something that was sort of representative of what we were doing.
You want a product, yeah.
So it had a heartbeat on it, made about 650, 700 horsepower.
That's healthy.
So that was quick, just, kind of like light the tires in third gear. It was just stupid fun. It was a pretty decent track car, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah. If you put a little camber in it.
Yeah.
It was
Was
not
it
too
a
bad.
Gen 5?
That was a Gen 5.
Okay. Yeah. Those are pretty. That was a great
The
platform.
LS3.
The chassis and
Yeah.
everything. Yep.
Yeah. Bent a bunch of valves. Doing donuts for the cameras.
Uh-huh.
In a controlled environment.
Of course.
I will add
yes.
at the Camarillo Airport, which we
Yeah.
rented for a little bit. That never happened.
People pulling out.
Somebody pulled over for us. That's amazing. This road can be pretty sketchy for that.
There's a good amount of turnouts, I think.
There is, but it's rare that somebody turns out for you,
Yeah.
actually.
You can hear all the gravel hitting the car.
Oh
too.
my
It hits
God,
the carbon
it's
tub.
so dirty up here.
Yeah. Now more sports cars. So now you have a Porsche.
Yeah, I bought an 85 a few years ago, 3.2 Carrera, which I absolutely love. I mean, there's no substitute for that steering feel and everything. It's so much fun to drive. It's not a fast car. It's just ridiculous fun. Somebody else?
It's all about the
Thank you.
experience.
That's amazing. I absolutely love that car. And then we have a one. Technically, it's my wife's car. She has actually cooler cars than I do because she has a 1M and a Golf R.
Yeah.
You know,
Your Volvo's pretty cool. The Daily.
The Daily's the Polestar V60 wagon, which I love.
It's really, really nice.
Yeah. Great handle. Actually, it reminds me a lot of the Golf. You know, even though it's a larger wagon, just in terms of, you know, adjustable Öhlins and stuff like that. It's just a very tossable car. It's really fun. It's a great daily.
This is the longer stop. It's coming up right here.
Oh, yeah, this turnout. This is where you.
I actually used 2 of the turnouts earlier there, but there's a lot of traffic coming this way, so maybe we'll wait because I haven't actually gone over this yet. Okay.
It's fantastic up the back. It's completely different.
Okay.
You know, this is much more sort of constant hairpins, and when you get to the backside, it's a little bit more random.
Okay.
Yeah, flowing.
Yeah, I've just stopped because that stretch is enough for me to like have some fun because it's a great road. A lot more traffic. What day is today? Sunday?
Sunday.
This
is very typical for us.
Yeah. It's still not bad though. Weekday, I've run like up and down with no traffic at all. It's been great.
Really?
Has been fantastic. So outside of the regular cars, you race Porsche's Boxster Spec Boxster, right? What's that like?
That's amazing.
That sounds like fun, right?
Yeah, I would recommend it to anybody if you're interested in. I did track days for probably about 8 or 10 years.
Okay.
And I just got a little bored with just, you know, kind of racing against myself, racing against the clock.
Okay.
You know,
more competition
and I wasn't.
needed.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling challenged anymore. You know, I just wasn't the fastest person, but that was in my E36, and I felt. You know, I've always wanted to race. And that's it's something I've wanted to do for probably.
I think every car enthusiast wants that at some point, right?
Yeah.
I want to be a race car driver.
Yeah. So I had Valley Motorsports, which is in sort of the east end of LA, build me a Boxster Spec car to race with the POC. So they share the same rules and regs as PCA. Also has a Boxster Spec class, and it's the same. So everybody's relatively similar setup. Actually, the tires are mandated, the dampers are mandated, and you can change, some of some front end pieces, and you can disconnect the rear sway bar.
Okay.
You have to have a top and full roll cage and full fire system and everything. But
what generation Boxster is it right now?
It's the first one.
Oh, so first
97 to 99. Because
so the 996 looking headlight ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they make you would not believe how quick these cars are and how much abuse they take.
Really?
They are unbelievable on a racetrack. How quick? I mean, we're lapping Willow Springs, like the top 10 is kind of lapping between 131s and 133s.
Context for a road car, like what would like a...
Oh, man. Like a 997 GT3 would probably be around a 130, 131, something like
wow.
that.
So that's...
A really, really good driver in a 991 would probably be like a 129, 130, something like that.
Well, so, I mean, pretty healthy pace then. For a car making, 200 horsepower?
Yeah, it's all momentum. It's all
it's like Miatas.
You come out of turn 4 and you're flat all the way to turn 9. And if you want to go really quick, you do like a little bit of left brake or a little lift coming into turn. You're doing 100 miles an hour through turn 9, and it's really, really, really fun and really close. Like it's the great thing about that club is you sort of always have somebody to race because we can have as many as 30 cars in the field.
Oh wow!
And everybody's sort of split up between 3 or 4 different groups. There's sort of back markers and a midfield and a slightly quicker midfield and then front runners and so you're always bumper to bumper.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're 2, 3. I've been 3 wide in turn 2 at Willow Springs, so it's close, competitive racing. No racing is cheap, but I mean, if I blew a transmission, it'd probably be, I don't know, a couple $1,000s. If I blew an engine, it would probably be $3,000. If you're racing like a 911 or a cup car or something like that, I think those motors are $80,000.
And they require a rebuild after like 4,000 hours or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, we are just merciless with these cars. I mean, we're you're shifting at red line. You're constantly on. You're just on the throttle the whole time, trying to keep the momentum up.
Yep.
And you'd be amazed, like what these cars can do and how quick they are and how much abuse they take.
So it's a full arrive and drive because you have a full support, like a shop that handles everything, right?
I do,
Okay.
yeah. Because I did the track day thing where I maintained my own car and I would, get it on a trailer and take it out there and everything. And, there'd be lots of times where I cut my weekend short because if I blew out a wheel bearing or something like that, right? And now, fast forward a few years to racing and you're obviously, there's a lot can happen.
Yes.
Right. So I've 2 weekends ago, I lost a front wheel bearing actually on the last lap, a couple of yards before the finish line.
No.
Yeah, and it just, blew up, took the whole hub out and everything like that.
Oh man.
And these guys always have lots of spares and everything. Yeah. I was back and running for race 2.
Oh, that's
amazing.
What I mean?
And that would have been a weekend finisher for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I know my way around basic maintenance, but I wouldn't have a spare upright and and wheel bearings and all pressed in, ready to go. So it's, to me, it's it just makes everything so much easier and less stressful just to know that if something goes wrong, probably 7 out of 10 times somebody's going to have a spare somewhere. We're going to get fitted back on and I'll be back out racing in the next race.
So then ballpark cost for a full race weekend. What does it typically cost to run in a Spec Boxster series like that?
Biggest expense is tires.
Okay.
So if you're doing it yourself,
yeah,
so whatever it costs you to get out there and trailer, probably $500 in entrance fees, maybe $1,100 for a set of tires. We're allowed one set per weekend.
Okay.
That's kind of to keep it even and fuel.
Yeah.
And until something breaks, that's pretty much it.
And the cars are what, 10 to 20 grand probably, all fully built out? Or are they more than that?
Oh, they're more than that.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're running, and that's somewhere you don't want to skimp on safety.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
So full roll cage,
okay.
and that's really, you hope that you never have to use a roll cage. But in the few years that I've been racing, I've seen, we've had probably 2 incidences on track. Not me personally, but where the well-built roll cage saved somebody a lot of pain.
Yeah.
So that's just somewhere where I wouldn't, and that's really expensive. Wow, that's a lot of rocks.
That is a lot of rocks. That's why this is closed down to 1 lane.
That's awesome. No, so you can probably build a car for, if you built it yourself, you could probably build it for 30 grand.
Okay.
Maybe a bit more.
Yeah.
If you have a shop build it, it's probably going to be 40 to 45.
Oh, okay. All right.
But that's, that's full coilovers all the way around. Interior stripped, fire system, roll cage. So there's quite a bit that goes into the car.
Keep going straight?
Yeah, you just
I've
go
gone
straight.
this way before.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Oh, more 1 lane.
We're exploring. Man, the view out here is also just beautiful.
Oh, it's spectacular.
Oh.
Yeah, it really is. This is one of the best roads in California.
More water. So what you've tracked, you usually, Willow Springs obviously. Button Willow?
Yeah, we race Willow Springs, Button Willow.
Laguna?
Laguna. What else? Sonoma, usually once a year.
Open Trench. That's an alarming.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
This, for the audience.
Holy.
It is 1 lane through here, and a great big piece of the road is missing.
Yeah, and there was a rock the size of a small child.
Yeah. That's exciting. Great views.
Oh, man.
It's spectacular. Really spectacular.
The turbo noises.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any desire to, quote unquote, go up to a higher series? Like, would you go into a Porsche Cup series? Because obviously the cost scales massively.
Yeah, it's...
Or Trans Am or something like that.
It probably goes up 10.
Ah, squirrel! Did it live? It lived. It lived.
Oh, look at us.
Carbon ceramic brake test.
Preservationists.
Yes.
We are. Yeah.
Yes. What were we talking about? Oh, other series. Yes.
No,
yeah.
not at all.
No desire.
No desire. I've always loved going faster in a slow car.
I see that. Yep, that makes perfect sense.
And I love the competitiveness. I mean,
Yeah.
this series there's some pro racers that race in this series just because it's so competitive. And they get, seat time for,
Yeah.
a
a lot less.
less. So it's massively competitive. You just don't get that experience in a lot of series of going door to door like that,
Mhm.
going like too wide, or just chasing somebody down and jockeying for position.
Yeah.
It's probably the only other series that's like it is probably Spec Miata.
I was gonna ask, how did you pick between the Boxster Spec versus Spec Miata?
I just love Porsches.
Ah, okay, there you go. That makes sense then.
Yeah. And I wanted to try the mid-engine thing, and more rocks in the middle of the road. Not boulders.
Yeah.
This is
Mid-engine
Piedra-
is wow.
Piedra Blanca's out here that's like kind of white rock.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of snow in the hills. Wow. Beautiful.
Why do I live in the Midwest? Well, because it costs too much out here, but thank you for letting me stay, man.
Anytime.
My way of thinking is dumplings and supercar
And
drives,
supercar
right?
drives,
Worthy trade-off. The door's not closed.
First time in a supercar.
Oh, no, it's my door.
Aha!
Eddie user error. So what do you think of the MC20, Matt? Now you've got to experience it a bit.
Very cool car.
Very, very cool.
Yeah. I'm not
Rocks!
Wow. Jeez. I don't know about as a daily driver. It's still like very much a supercar.
Yeah.
In terms of.
I think...
I think it's as a GT, it's actually not bad when you put it in sort of automatic. And
Yes.
There's cruise in it.
My problem with that is it is just horrendously impractical if you want to use it for that. So
Right.
it's a kind of a weird space where it's not so fully hardcore of like a track car, right? Like a McLaren 600 LT or a P-Star or something like that. But then it's, as a daily GT, it's so impractical. There's no storage, no front trunk
Right.
to use of, really. The rear trunk isn't that big. And it's a beautiful folding hardtop. So it's like got this weird in-between personality. It's something you buy when you just want a cool toy.
And something beautiful. I think this is a
Beautiful.
car you put in your garage or your carport and you come out every night and just sort of gaze upon it.
That's what I've been doing, actually.
Yeah.
I just go out there and just stare at it and go, oh, it's so pretty. It is such a pretty car. This is one of my favorite paints on anything. It's just so unique. It changes based on the lighting and everything.
But without being cheesy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
some of these, like, so
Too
what do you
much
call it?
flake or whatever, yeah.
It's just too crazy. But
Yes.
this one's very subtle, and I think complements the curves of the car.
Absolutely. Yeah, the styling. We stopped up once we went over the mountains, and these three ladies were riding their bikes from Bakersfield.
Yeah.
They're heading all the way. Did they say where they were trying to get to?
To Ojai.
Ojai.
So
Yeah,
they're coming
that's-
over this range. I mean, just
That's
crazy. I don't know, what would that be, a 70-mile ride or something like that?
Probably more than that from Bakersfield.
Wild.
I don't know.
And
But-
6,000 feet of elevation.
Yeah, but they were asking about the car. They checked it out. They're like, "Can we sit?" I'm like, "Absolutely, take pictures, whatever." And it definitely attracts attention. I think it helps that the doors go up.
Yeah. They asked about scissor doors.
Yes, absolutely. It takes it's really special cars only that have doors
Speaking
that go
of
up.
mid-engine,
That old Toyota thingamajigger.
those Toyota vans.
Yeah, I drove a what is it called? Like the High Ace Master Surf or something at one point.
Oh, really?
It had an ice cube maker in the front.
No.
With like an ice tray, and like it was instead of I had a little concave or convex mirror on the back for like to see your back bumper. It had all these really weird innovations from back then. It was bizarre, but genuinely had an ice cube maker. I was like, what?
Every
From the
car needs an
factory?
ice cube maker.
Forget your
That's
heated and
great.
cooled cup holders. I can make
Yeah.
ice cubes. Here's a fun question. I like asking people who have been successful. How much do you attribute success that you've seen or experienced yourself to luck, and how much to hard work? That always provokes an interesting discussion.
50-50.
50-50?
Yep.
I think you have to get lucky and then have the hard work and discipline to take advantage of that luck. Because
Yes.
you get all the luck in the world, if you don't use it or do it,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to recognize the luck and recognize the opportunity when it's there. Yeah. And, I think the key is, I mean, a lot of it is timing, right? So, I mean, being in a company that's, that grows, or people that have had exits, that's, that there's a lot of timing there. Because there's a lot of people that, have had very successful companies that, we're just a little ahead of its time or a little late.
Imagine having a successful company in 2008.
Yeah, right.
Like, poor timing.
Yeah, totally. But I think, so much of it in your career is just, and I'd say just, but it's just reaching a little bit beyond your daily job, right? Like wanting to learn about the business and learning about how the business makes money, how it makes customers, and wanting to, reach a little and contribute to that. If you just sort of stick in your day to day and stick in your lane, I mean, that's not the recipe.
Yeah. That is something I have aspired to try myself, and also, is that a Suzuki Jimny? That was an old Jimny! Oh my god, I love Jimnys! What was I saying?
I mean, those things are pretty exciting.
Every time.
You don't see them very often.
Every time when I'm in Dubai, I lose my mind when I see a Jimny. They're all over the place there, and some of them make them look like baby G-Wagons, and I want one. Yep. And like, my colleagues would be so confused. They're like, Eddie, there was a Lamborghini. I was like, I don't care about the Lamborghini. I don't care about the Bugatti.
Yep.
Jimny.
Yep.
I have aspired to, and I've noticed, is people who have the mindset, willingness to just do it or try different things. So like, they don't have the thought ever of, well, that's not my job, or that's not on my job description. Right. It's the desire and want to take on new projects, even if it's not really in your wheelhouse per se.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people ask me all the time, how do I know if so-and-so on my team is ready for a promotion, right? My answer is always, are they doing the job now?
Yes. That's the easiest thing. Yeah. A promotion is a no-brainer. Yeah, gone through a couple of those. Yeah, Matt, I've been working with Matt as an executive coach for 4 years, and you have absolutely helped me through some very stressful moments, learning moments. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
So if you're looking for an executive coach, Matt Hately.
That's what I love to do.
Spark Insights. Message me. We'll get you connected.
Oh, nice.
No, genuinely, thank you for... I still remember the first moment I had to fire somebody, let somebody go. That is one of the most stressful, challenging things to do as a manager, especially an early, younger one. But walking it through, learning what to do, and
it's something you hope you never have to do.
Correct. But, nobody takes pleasure in that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it happens in business, and people are just not the right fit. They might be great somewhere else. And for another, but especially in growing companies, it can be pretty challenging if somebody's not growing at the pace the company needs to. Unfortunately.
Yep. That is just the reality of it. One thing I took away, I think you're the one who told me, was like, you'll never regret firing somebody too soon.
Yeah.
Only too late.
Yep. Yeah. Because people tend to suck energy out of the rest of the team.
Yeah. Oh, like the whole -2 to +2.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of times people are rated from, including yourself, 1 to 10 or 1 to 5. But in reality, if somebody is a 1, they're not just 1 out of the number. They're a minus because they're a detriment to the overall thing. Just like somebody who is really, truly special that goes above and beyond, they are more than a 100% impact.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting way to shift it.
Yeah. And we think of it as a compassion thing that I don't want to let this person go, and it's their livelihood and so on, which is true. And I mean, it's like, and it's important to treat people fairly, and if you have to let somebody go, that it's done with compassion.
Yeah.
And from a good place. But we also forget that we're not doing the rest of the team any favors either, right? And they're having to do extra work, they're having to struggle and everything so.
I have so many Matt Hately-isms in my head now. Like, every time I think, it's like, your team's they're putting monkeys on your back, and I'm like, oh yeah. But one of my favorites is because you can't cut up their steak and feed it to them. Like, that's the one thing. Learning to delegate was so hard because I'm so used to doing everything myself, and I want to do it myself because I feel like I can do it the best, or it'll be quicker this way. But you have to be able to let other people do things. This is true of working in a team too. Trust other people. Let other people fail, because that's how people learn, right?
Yep.
You can't just fix it all yourself.
Yeah. Well, you're not the only one that finds that hard. I mean, that's a very, very common thing.
Oh, thank you, Tesla.
Oh.
Some people today, well, except for this one guy in a Charger who would not move out of the way.
I think the supercar helps.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I see it in a rearview mirror, like, oh, that's a fast car.
Yep. And it's wide and low.
Yes.
And unique. Yeah. I think people see it in their review and think,
cannot miss it. Final thing. What do you think is the most important piece of advice you would give somebody in their career they want to be successful?
So I'm going to repeat myself and say, learn how the company makes money.
Okay.
Like really understand how it makes customers. Why do people buy the product? Who buys the product? What are they using it for? Where are they buying it from? How do they find out about it? I think no matter what role you're in, if you understand that and where you fit in that picture, you'll be successful.
There we go. We just got some free coaching.
Available today on YouTube.
Yeah. At a discounted price of 0.099.
You get to learn about cars in this channel, about management.
Yeah. It's a fun, interesting topic. We'll see. This is actually, I wanted to do this because I wanted to test out my new mics that I was all excited for. I got these new Rode Wireless Pro mics.
Oh, you were excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were very excited.
I was running around. I'm like, look at this, man. And a cool opportunity because we wanted to take the car out. Beautiful day. So we'll see how this format goes. Maybe it becomes a podcast or something. We'll figure out the brain. I don't know. This was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this casual, informal conversation spanning many, many things.
In a Maserati?
In a Maserati MC20, right? But don't expect that every single one of these would happen in a $340,000 supercar. Next one might be in a Kia EV9 or something. But yeah, comment below. Do you guys like it? Ideas, questions? Do more of these? Other people? Always welcome. Thanks for watching.